Heck, we good?
Yeah,
Teed up, good. Kelly, good. We do this before not even D2. I just shake my co-host's hand. Good luck to you. It's going to be a lot of fun, all right?
We're going to have a great time.
Let's do it. Hello, everyone. My name is Neruda Perdomo, and to my right is President Nesbitt, and today is our inaugural episode of Campus Catch-Up here at Utica University. How you feeling today, Press?
I'm feeling great today. Thanks for being here with me, Neruda.
I definitely appreciate you being here. It's going to be super fun. I think we have a lot of fun topics that, we want to talk about, a lot of interesting topics, a lot of, relevant topics. I think we could just start off the conversation with some simple icebreakers because, I think for the audience, many of them, might not know us. So just tell me where you're from, tell me some of your hobbies, what you like to do, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I am originally from a small town out in the Finger Lakes, Moravia, New York. Very small town. I grew up on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Utica Community College, then I went on to Ithaca College. I went to law school in Buffalo and did my MBA at SU. So I'm sort of an upstate New York person.
Mm-hmm.
I love upstate New York. My hobbies, I've been an athlete all my life. I have a 3rd degree black belt in karate. I like to run, although I can't do it very well anymore. But right now I'm really into gardening, love my gardening, and I really love driving my 2021 Mazda Miata retractable fastback with the top down. Not today though, not today, with the tunes turned up.
Are you really into cars or?
I kind of like cars, yeah.
Interesting.
Before the 2021 I had a 2003 Miata Shinsen model, classic. Just got rid of it in the fall.
I don't know cars, but I saw Terrence's face and he was like, whoa. So I'm assuming it's a nice car. I've been a Honda person my whole life, but I'll say this, the first time I drove a fast car was in Florida. I had rented like a Mustang and I was too afraid to go over like 85, 80, but it was a rush. I definitely enjoyed that.
I'll tell you what, when the weather gets better for a future podcast, we'll do it from the fastback, the top open, and we'll cruise, right?
That would definitely be something. That might be a first, I think, for a podcast episode.
Let's give it a try.
No, but for me, I'm from New York City. I was born in New York City. I moved to New Hampshire when I was 12. My dad got a job at Phillips Exeter, which is a boarding school in New Hampshire. It's a small little boarding school, but it's really good academics. Both my parents are Puerto Rican, so I'm proudly Puerto Rican. I love movies. I don't know if you're a big movie person.
I'm not a big movie person, but I really like, shows, TV shows. I like when they spend a long time sort of developing that story. I could watch something for 20 hours to see how it comes out.
For sure. One of my favorite shows of all time is Game of Thrones. And, we could talk about storylines all day with that TV show, but they didn't really end off on the right foot.
I like Last Kingdom.
Okay. Yeah. That's good stuff. I mean, for me, movie person, I like Training Day. I don't know if you've seen these movies. Training Day is one of my favorite. Training Day is my favorite movie. Another one is The Departed, and as they would say in Boston.
My all-time favorite movie is The Return of the King from the Lord of the Rings series. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry to say this, but I actually have not. I've watched the Hobbit series, but I haven't watched the Lord of the Rings series.
Lord of the Rings series is better.
All right. All right, so I'll watch it and I'll get back to you and I'll let you know what I think. But really, I just want you to know, or I really want to start the conversation off with, how this opportunity kind of came to be, because we're doing this podcast and I feel like it's a unique thing. Like I don't really see many presidents of schools doing, this right now, having a conversation. So first, just kind of walk us through how this opportunity came to be from your perspective, because, I have my own journey with it. I have my own journey with, how I got to this very seat. So just talk about that a little bit.
So, thanks for that question, because I think it's like sort of critical to what brought us here and brought us together. So as I was transitioning from the provost role into the president's role, I really started talking with Kelly from communications. How can we communicate better with the campus community? How can we communicate in places and in ways that the community is actually sort of immersing themselves in? So, face it, when you get to have hair that's gray like mine, you're a bit older, and the things that we think of as adequate communication don't cut it with our students and with many of our, staff and faculty members who come from younger generations. And so we talked about different things we could do, and he said, I know a guy. And I love when somebody says to me, I know a guy. I know a guy, Neruda, and he is an awesome podcaster, and would you consider trying that? And I said, I have always wanted to give that a try. And so Kelly connected us, and you and I met, and we started talking, and then it just became clear that this was probably going to work really well. And so I was thankful for Kelly for being like super creative, and then you stepping up when he called you up and said, hey, Neruda, I kind of promised you.
Nah, for sure. It was such an interesting time. I mean, I think Kelly might have emailed me on the first or second day of the new year, which was also your first official day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was just like, I was in disbelief when he asked me. You know, our conversation really started off with, I think they're doing like profiles on different students around campus who have been doing good stuff outside of the university and just representing the university well. But he ended, the conversation with that question about if I would be interested in doing the podcast. And like I said, I think Kelly can speak to it. I had a little bit of disbelief in my face because I never thought that an opportunity like this would present itself. Because I feel like in my own media career, I tried to just stay focused on my own journey and, not worry about what other people are doing or not, obviously celebrate successes, but, you try to keep the main thing and trying to reach my ultimate goal. But when this opportunity was presented to be in front of you and have a conversation that's going to be, for the Utica community to see, like that's a once in a lifetime thing. And I think I couldn't imagine a sweeter way to end my Utica chapter, honestly.
Well, I have to say, first, from my perspective, thank you for agreeing to do this with me, because it's not something you had to do, right? We asked you and you answered the call. But then also, just sort of to let you know, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to talk to you as a representative of our students, and you've got some of your other classmates here helping us tonight behind the scenes. But for you to speak like in that way about the opportunity to talk to me, I'm the president, yeah, I get that, and it comes with responsibilities and authority, and I appreciate the respect, I really do. But in the end, I still just see myself as Stephanie. And I'm the same, kid wearing hand-me-downs on the farm, trying to make do. I'm the same scared young woman going off to college and feeling like I didn't understand it and everyone else did. And so for me, part of this journey is helping people understand, yeah, I've got this job and I have this authority, but I'm still just Stephanie, and that's how I really see myself. And getting to know you like this and talking like this, I think it's just a great opportunity to share perspectives.
Definitely a lot of special people that are on this campus. I met a lot of great people that are on this campus, teachers, staff, faculty, whatever it may be. But, we're, like I mentioned, we're kind of in the middle of the year right now. We're in January. You were hired, or appointed, I should say, January 1st, 2026. And, they already threw a snowstorm at you. But, the other president stepped down. You are mid-year jumping into this role. Everything is kind of on you in a way. And as I mentioned before, you've been here for 14 years now, so you've seen the school in many different forms. Has there ever been like any improvements that you've noted over your time here that like, okay, this is something that, I would want to improve upon if I'm in this position? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, so thanks for your question, because it's a really good question. And to be honest, mid-year presidential changes are a bit odd. But I think the important thing to remember is, just like we just talked about, I'm still Stephanie, I'm a human being, even though I have this role and this authority. We forget the people who lead us come with their own personal stuff, and personal stuff doesn't get timed to nicely meet the sort of academic year time frame. So I just put that out there. Unusual, yes, but nothing more than people are people and things happen when things happen. But things that I've noted and would want to change, Yeah, and I think I'm starting to work on some of that now. So a big thing for me has been communicating to the campus community in ways that work, right? And so Kelly and I have been working on that. You and I are working on that, and that's really important to me. I was a comm major, right? So communication is important to me. The other thing that I've really been thinking about, and I had thought about this for a long time, was how are we talking with our leaders? So leaders aren't just the VPs and the very executive level of the organization, but it's the Judy Borners and it's the people you see on the front line day to day. And so we're really working on a new structure where we're bringing them together more to talk to them more about what we're doing to move the institution forward, what their role is in doing that, why their role matters. We're spending more time within those meetings and helping educate them and give them professional development so they can do their jobs better. Because I've always felt on this campus that we needed to find ways to engage more of the campus in helping the campus operate. We are an institution that's tuition driven. We don't sit on a huge endowment that produces lots of investment income to help us operate. We have to be really responsible with our dollars, just like families have to be responsible with their dollars, just like our students' families have to be responsible with their dollars. And I think in order to do that, it takes all of us understanding what our role is so that we're helping deliver for our students. Because at the end of the day, if we're not meeting the needs of our students, we're not doing what we're here to do.
I mean, it definitely makes sense. You want to invest in the people that are, trying to help the students. Like someone like Judy. Like Judy is so helpful, and everyone in that office too. Everyone in student success. Like Beth Samuels, she's been so helpful to me over my time here. Mike Elliott was my original student success coach. But people like that are so integral to, helping students out and maintaining this community that we have here. I'm just wondering, I was looking at getting into coaching before I really committed to this media thing, and one thing I always heard was, from assistant coaches, they're like, that responsibility from this side of the room to my side of the room is completely different. Like it's a whole new world. So now I'm wondering for you obviously, I think you were academic provost for a long time, so now you're in this presidential role. What challenges have been kind of brought up recently in this new role?
So, every leadership role is different. I had the good fortune of being provost for a few years, and that's the number 2 position at the institution, right? That's the person responsible for what it is we actually do. Yeah. The president sits over all of it, has responsibility for non-academic operations, but the provost deals with what it is we really do. Mm-hmm. Before that, I was an academic school dean. Before that, I was a program director. Before that, I was a faculty member in the classroom. So I've transitioned in each of these roles to a new set of responsibilities. In working as provost, I worked really closely with Dr. Steele on the university operations, so I was really familiar with it. It is different when it's your responsibility now. You're not just advising or helping someone else, it's different. But in general, I felt like I was able to come in on January 1, unlike any other person, because I've been here. I know someone in every corner of this campus. I can't say I know everyone. I'd like to know everyone, but I know someone in every corner of this campus and how we do things and where people need help. Or I know how to figure out that people need help. So to date, there have been no surprises. Cross our fingers and hope that that continues. Every role comes with a surprise eventually, but right now it's been a good transition, and just my time and tenure here have prepared me for it really well. As
someone who's a current student, but also going to be an alumni, it's great to hear. And we're going to talk more about how decisions are made and what decisions you're looking at. But you mentioned you were a comm major in college, and obviously communications and media today here at Utica University. And I feel like it's a relatively smaller major here at Utica compared to others. But obviously, this major is the reason. It's a big part of who I am today. It's helped me out so much in my career. I've learned so much from every single professor I've had within the major. But why I mention this is because the former president talked a lot about, cutting majors, different gen ed programs, but with also adding a couple too with the ones that are cut. So I'm just wondering, what's your stance is on that? And like I said, we're going to go into depth about this more, about how decisions are made in a future episode. But, you mentioned strengthening programs that are already popular, but, how are you going to decide what majors and studies are important to have here at Utica?
That's a great question, and that is something that we should spend maybe even an entire episode talking about, but at least talking about decision making. So it's really important for us, again, because we're a tuition-driven institution. So our bottom line is, are we spending your tuition dollars wisely to deliver what students want? And so when we're thinking about the programs we have or should have, we have to look at what students are demanding in the world, right? So it's one of our more popular majors within what we would call humanities and social sciences. But it is kind of small compared to some other things. But students come here to study it, right?
Yeah.
So it's important. And all educational programs are valuable. All of them are. Students can derive a lot from them and be successful in many of them. The question becomes, just like with a family and a family budget, how much money do we have to spend, and where can we best spend that? And so sometimes we have to make decisions that we just don't have the resources to support all of these choices we would have had in the past, or maybe even would like to have if the world were perfect. And we do that based on the student interest. We do that based on, and that's student interest for people who come and look at us, how many people are actually interested in that specific major. We do that based on national trends and national interests and try to use that data. And then we also, try to apply some other factors. How much is it costing us? Could we put those dollars somewhere else to better help our students and support our student interest? None of these decisions are easy, because one of the things we know about academics, and you're learning this already, right? And the others, that are learning this, you are in love with what you're studying, right? It's a passion for you. So when we talk about changing academic programs in our portfolio and something's going away, perhaps, students feel that because they're so passionate about that subject matter. I was passionate about, I didn't study more mass media like you guys. I studied classical rhetoric. That's what I studied, but I was passionate about it. Yeah. Faculty members are passionate about it. They've dedicated their lives. And so these are really personal decisions when these decisions are made. But for the health of all of us, sometimes we have to make those decisions. We don't make them lightly. As you know, I have to be honest, I was part of this. This wasn't just Dr. Fonesteel did something, and it was a team decision looking at all the information we had to make our decisions on, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think outside looking in, I guess I'm not on the outside because I am a student, but not knowing all the information at hand, I should say, I feel like it's a give and take situation because the same infrastructure, economy, environment is not the same as it was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it may be, so change is needed, so I understand where you're coming from, but I was made aware that you've been communicating with the Professors Union here at Utica University. You're trying to find a middle ground for all of us, all parties included, and I appreciate you doing that. So can you tell us a little bit about how those conversations have gone? I know we're going to have an episode about it, but can you talk to us a little bit about it?
So one of the things is, I should say to everyone is, I'm so pleased with the progress we've made in our relationship with the faculty union. It took all of us sort of coming together and working on that, and we've invested a lot of time, and I'm appreciative of the progress we've made. in that negotiation and conversation, I really shouldn't talk publicly about a lot of it because it's a negotiation. And I want to be really respectful of the process because it requires trust. And to breach that trust would damage the process, right? But with that, I would say that just the work that we've done since October has taken us a long way. And I'm confident that just like I talked about having to engage the whole campus to understand what we need to do to move the university forward, we're collaborating and engaging with the faculty to try to find, as you said, that middle ground. Because I'm a trained lawyer, right? And a lot of times people think the law is very black and white. It's either right or wrong. But as I joke with people, a lot of my fellow lawyers, they get paid because the gray in the middle is where life really happens, right? In society right now, we think, you know, you're either conservative or you're liberal, and we have these two ends of the spectrum that get all the sort of airplay and all the air in the room, when most of America is probably right here somewhere in the middle, just wanting everyone to come together and try to find some solutions. In the end, I can't make everyone happy. But if I know that we've worked across the campus community to try to find the best solution we can for the university and for the campus community, that's when I've been successful with my work. And I'm pretty confident right now that the campus community is engaged to sort of help me with that process. It's not me doing it alone. It's me helping bring the people together so that we can do it together.
And that's the idea that I was talking about of meeting you where you're at, because, you know, like, it's not an ideal situation for everyone, obviously, but professors, faculty, they probably have students, they understand a little bit of what decisions are on your plate. So to try to find that quote unquote middle ground and, you know, bring the community together to listen to what, you know, their opinions on it, I can only commend you for that. And that's a true mark of a good leader, I should say.
Well, thank you, Neruda. Thank you very much.
For sure. Honestly, I really can't wait to see, you know, where the school goes in the future. Obviously, I'm a current student, but obviously future alumni too in 2026 in May. So I got to ask, like, where do you see Utica University going in the future?
You know, Utica University has a great future. I've been saying it everywhere I go because I'm so excited about it. It's such an exciting time to lead this institution. This is our 80th anniversary year. 80 years here in the Mohawk Valley supporting this community and having this community support us. So you can start to see that there'll be a centennial celebration. There'll be 120 years. I may not be here for the 120, let's be honest, but I'll try. I'll try really hard. But the future for us, we're going to be a little smaller than we were at our largest, right? We got up to over 5,000 students. That was remarkable. We're not going to be there anytime in the foreseeable future because simply the college-age students, there are fewer of them because during the 2008-2009 financial downturn, people just didn't have kids. So there are fewer people to go to college. But with that said, we'll be the same foundational institution we've been with the same basic set of programs that have always really attracted students to come study with us. Really focused on professional, pre-professional, STEM. COM will remain in the portfolio because it's been such a solid program for us. And from those things, we will add things that are related, that are really relevant for students and people now, right? And we will have some growth, not huge growth, but growth as we add some new programs and shift things around. We'll continue to have really strong athletic teams because that's part of our identity. And we'll continue to be the university that's the private education option here in the Mohawk Valley for students who are interested in what we have to offer. And that gives us a unique place in the community and in the broader region. And we're going to deliver strong on that.
Definitely. And I don't think, like, it's okay to be a small college. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think what's cool about this area is that yes, Utica is a smaller college, but when I go out into New Hartford shopping mall, I don't see the same people every time I go. When I, go, I'm over 21, so I can say this. When I go on Barrack Street, I don't see the same people, every time. I see different people because it's Utica University is bigger than just, or Utica. It's not just Utica University in this area. It's bigger than it, and I think the community knows that Utica University is a staple. So yeah, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit smaller at all.
So you put it out there, so I have to ask, what's your favorite place to go on Barrack Street? Because I think people want to know.
I mean the I guess Celtic Harp, is that what they would call it? It's closed down now, but.
It's reopening under new ownership, I think.
That's what I heard. So I'm interested to see what it looks like. But yeah, I definitely had some fun moments there with some of my friends that are all over 21. But no, I'm wondering. We talked about the Utica community and stuff like that, and how can we support you? Like, how can the staffs? I know you're talking to the union, but how can the staff, faculty, students, greater Utica community support you in your endeavors?
Right. Thank you for that question too. And I hear that from the community all the time. Like, how can we support you? How can we? And the really important things that I'm trying to ask people to do are, I think, small things. It's like, be present, show up. This is a vibrant community, and I think one of the great concerns I have is that the pandemic trained us to run out in public to do the few things we had to do and run home to what we view as our safe spot, right? And we're in some ways forgetting how to engage with people, forgetting how to have these face-to-face conversations. So I've been saying to people, right now what we need most is show up. The second part, and I talked about this a little when I was on the radio last week with Ray Durso, like, listen to each other. Like, really listen. I know we all have some strong feelings about some things that are happening in the world today, some things that have happened here on campus perhaps, and we got to a place where we stopped listening to each other and understanding that that's a real human being on the other side of this with real feelings that are valid. I might not agree with them, but they're valid, right? And so I think if we start doing those two things, we all start to create some energy that helps us move forward in some very positive ways. People are engaged now, and we are performing and delivering the things that we need to deliver, and that will see us through to some really great future success.
For sure, and like I said, I'm excited to see where this school goes under your leadership. But Utica University is definitely a staple in this community. I had written down some notable events that had happened, but I remember last year, in March in 2025, the Utica University versus SUNY Poly championship game. That was at Mega Court, and anyone that was there can speak to the atmosphere in the gym. There was standing room only. People were watching the game. This John Keating told me this. Shout out John Keating. He works down in athletics. He told me that people were watching the game from the lobby, like on the TVs in the athletic center. And I remember, I think I went to go grab some food a couple of days later after the game, and a local that works at the shop, he was like, "Yo, I was at the game." Like, he was like, "That boy number 15 on Utica, he's tough." And we were talking about the game, and that only showed me how much people actually care about this place. We can go to Utica hockey, their whole NCAA tournament run. I mean, they pack out the Aud. It feels like every game. They get loud in there. When they were in the Nexus Center, I felt like it was standing room only in there too. But there's a story that I told you already. I'll tell the camera this. I was getting my hair cut in Utica, AC Barber Studio. Shout out to them. But while I was getting my hair cut, I had mentioned to my barber that I was doing this opportunity with you. I was doing this interview, and there was somebody in the chair that was across the way. He was listening, and he was like, "Oh, you're doing a podcast with new president? That's dope, man. That's dope." He was like, "I'm gonna check in on that. I gotta make sure Utica doing all right, man. Utica's a big part of the community. We gotta make sure it stays around." So that's why I think, stuff like this podcast, what we're doing, it's important. these conversations that you're having with the community, it's important. Bringing us together and trying to figure out, quote unquote, middle ground for us, all those things are important. So that's why I'm glad we're here.
Thank you. I'm glad we're here too. And yeah, I think I hope people don't think it's oversimplifying, but I think it's really the path forward to making success for ourselves, and not to be overly dopey, but to make, a better world for all of us. Like coming together and finding some commonality with the people that we're in this world with, because look, we're all here.
Yeah.
And if we don't recognize each other as human beings with our own individual needs and start to break down some of those barriers, we're just not going to do well.
Yeah. And by you bringing us together, it's only going to help us in the long run. And I think if you don't have anything else, I think that's going to be it for our first episode. Campus catch up here at Utica University. Next episode, we're going to talk more about how decisions are made, what decisions you're looking to make while your first year or so in presidency. But really excited, really happy we did this.
Me too. Thank you so much. This has been great.
For sure. I'm hoping hope the community loves it, and definitely stick around for episode 2 coming soon.